As Jews, the concept of slavery, captivity, bondage is unfortunately very common in our history. From the beginning of our history, from being slaves in Egypt and being freed by God over 3,000 years ago, it is a part of our lineage. It is a part of our history, a very big part of our history, which we celebrate till this very day. We came from being in bondage in Egypt to becoming free people, being let out by Moshe Rabbeinu and God himself. So we kind of have to ask ourselves this question: what is freedom? Because if you think about it, we did come out of the bondage of Egypt, yet we did kind of go under a different yoke. It's like saying we came from one master to another. We traded Pharaoh for being under the laws of God. So the question is that truly freedom? And if that's not freedom, then what is freedom? How do we really define freedom? Because if we think freedom means doing whatever you want, whenever you want, obviously that can't be true. Because if God says, I have freed you from the bondage of Egypt to make you a free nation, then that must have a different definition than what we perceive it to be. Because if we think freedom is doing what you want, whenever you want, that's not what happened. We didn't come out of Egypt doing whatever we want, whenever we want. And I've always had the answer as to what the definition of freedom is, at least according to the Torah, according to Judaism. What is real freedom? And how the Torah looks at freedom. But I never actually had the example, a sample idea to really pinpoint and say, this is freedom. Until this last week. One of our beautiful Jewish girls that was finally rescued from captivity, being a hostage in the darkest of places, taught us what it really means to truly be free. I'm talking about Agam Berger, a 19-year-old girl that was taken hostage over 450 days ago. And when her friends were freed a week before, they came out with stories about this awesome woman. While in captivity, she decided that her faith is the most important thing. And she started to keep Shabbat in the darkest of places. When her captors were telling her to cook, to clean, to light a fire, she chose to say, it's my Shabbat, I will not light a fire. She chose to fast on Yom Kippur and to fast on Tisha B'Av. I don't know any rabbi in the world, if she had a way of communication with rabbis, if she could text them and be like, hey, rabbi, do you think I'm obligated to fast this year during Yom Kippur? I don't think there's any rabbi in the world that would tell her, yeah, I'm sorry, unfortunately, there's no loopholes. They would be like, absolutely, do not fast. She was a hostage. She didn't know when her next meal will be, if she'll even live to have the next meal, Rahman al-Litzlan. So to make the decision that while she's a hostage, she's going to fast on Yom Kippur, fast on Tisha B'Av, keep kosher, she decided to keep kosher, no chicken, no meat, while in captivity. Again, I don't know if there was any rabbi that would tell her, listen, you can't eat meat, keep kosher while you're a hostage. She didn't have a choice. She didn't know when they're going to feed her again. But she decided, I don't care. I'm keeping kashrut, even in the darkest places. She was pale when she was finally rescued due to the fact that she didn't have much meat and chicken while she was a hostage. She chose not to. We feel like we're free because we can make a choice. I can decide to go to this restaurant or that restaurant. Or someone could decide to go to a glatt kosher restaurant or a non-kosher restaurant. At the end of the day, I'm free to choose. But now that I look at it, when a person has the option to be a Torah Jew, to be proud of their lineage, to keep kashrut, and we choose not to, who's the real slave? The person that chooses not to truly is a slave to their own desires. Sometimes a slave to their social surroundings and what people might say. We have countless glad kosher caterings. Yet we still have, unfortunately, so many weddings, engagements, and parties that are catered by non-kosher caterings. Why? And we feel, because I'm free to choose. Well, I don't think so. I think it's either because we feel it's more prestigious, which is not, or it's cheaper. I don't think so. Or so many different other ideas that we tell ourselves to fool ourselves, to convince ourselves that, oh, this is the catering I want to go with. But if you really think about it, it's just our desires. We're giving in to the social pressures, our own desires. Oh, I like it this way. I like this so much more. Yet a woman of 19, a 19-year-old girl taught us what it truly means to be free. She decided not to just hold up a flag to say Am Yisrael Chai. She became the symbol of what it means to say Am Yisrael Chai. I am a proud Jew, and no, I will not break Shabbat, not even for you. You cannot put me into bondage. No matter where I am, I'm free to choose. No, I will not eat that. Yet so many of us that think we're free don't make those choices correctly all the time. I think Agam has taught the world a valuable lesson. And if she's listening, Agam, if you're listening, which I hope somehow this video reaches you, I want you to know you are my hero. You are our hero. You have taught Am Yisrael what it truly means to be a free nation. Every Pesach Seder night when we sit at the Seder night and we say, Hashem brought us out from bondage to freedom, they were talking about exactly what you have done. In the darkest of times, you showed everyone what it means to be a light unto the nations. And hopefully, I hope and I pray someday I meet you, Be'ezrat Hashem, and I could say this to your face. Thank you. Thank you for being our hero. And I hope that us as a community, as a nation, could take that lesson from you to hold our heads high and not just say Am Yisrael Chai, but be Am Yisrael Chai. To truly be the free nation that Hashem made us to be. To say, no, I answer to a higher call. Am Yisrael Chai.